What's up? I'm Adam Hoge, and it is that time of year. Bears mock draft season 1.0 is here. My 14th year of doing these, which is crazy. And we got a crazy one for you to start the mock draft season. But before we get into it, make sure you become a CHGO diehard, because this is the best time of year to become a diehard. You get access to our CHGO draft database, which is building up to our Bears 100, our list of 100 players specific to the Bears. That's why it's different from all these other draft boards you might see somewhere else or big boards, and it's a working database. So as we update it, you see it, and it's the only place you can get something like this. It's only available to our CHGO diehards. Go sign up now. Also, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. Help us grow the channel. We greatly appreciate you very much. Now it's time to get into Mock Draft 1.0. And here's the thing, all right? I'm already on record. I think the Bears should draft Caleb Williams. I think they probably will. But as the NFL Combine is here, this could change rapidly in the next couple weeks in terms of, an actual trade. So if there's ever a time to get into this scenario of keeping Justin Fields and going through this process, it is now. Important disclaimer with these mock drafts always. This is an exercise to go through certain scenarios, look at certain prospects that fit the Bears, and hopefully you'll learn something about the trades that are made and the prospects that are in here. That's the main point of it. Not necessarily to predict what I think the Bears will do or what I think they should do. So in this scenario, we're going to go through keeping Justin Fields. Let's see how it works out. We start with some trades at the top because this is the only way I see this happening. Obviously, if you're keeping Justin Fields, you're moving off of the number one pick. And to me, it's going to take a couple trades to pull in the haul that Ryan Poles definitely wants. And we're going to start with trade number one here, with the Bears trading the number one overall pick to Washington. Bears move back to number two. Can they get a future first-round pick? Maybe. But if you look at this from the Commanders' situation, they have a brand new GM in Adam Peters. New GMs typically do not like to give up a ton of draft capital. Also, he was in San Francisco and the 49ers gave up a haul for Trey Lance. So giving up a future first-round pick when you can just sit there and take a very good quarterback with Drake May, I think is asking a lot. Is it possible? Sure. But for this scenario, we're just going to stick with the 2 second-rounders Washington has, which includes the pick the Bears sent to the Commanders for Montez Sweat, which is important. All right, so they get those 2 second-rounders. They got to get more, though. And Ryan Poles makes another trade here. They move back to number 8 with the Atlanta Falcons, and this is your real haul because you're adding another second-round pick this year, a third-round pick this year, and then next year's future 1 and future 2, all to move back to number 8. You also have to throw in a later-round pick. In this case, one of the Bears' fourth-round picks goes back to the Falcons to get this deal done. And if you think about it this way, I know that's a lot, but the Bears just went from having only 3 top 75 picks to having 7 in the top 79. Okay, so if you really want to go down this road where they're willing to move off Caleb Williams, I think this is what it's going to take, and I got more to add here in a little bit. But first, we got to finally get to some picks. So here's the first pick, number 8 overall, the Falcons pick. The Bears now having spots at 8 and 9. They go with Rome Odunze. Man, he might not even be available here because by moving back here, you're not giving Marvin Harrison Jr., but I think you can still possibly get Odunze. Here's the reason. Runs on wide receivers in the top 7 picks are very, very rare. So I still feel like one of these guys is going to be available. Maybe it's Malik Neighbors, but I like Rome Odunze, so we're going to go with him here. 6'3", 215. To me, he's like a bigger DJ Moore. He is huge after the catch, explosive all the time with his yak, and his ability to track the football in the air and adjust to that ball is special. So Rome Odunze would be a huge addition to the Chicago Bears. All right, now sitting at number 9, it's time for another trade. We go to trade number 3. This time, the Bears move back to number 12 with the Denver Broncos, and they acquire another third-round pick, number 76 overall. They also acquire a future fourth-round pick in this trade, and this is where all of a sudden the Bears now have 8 picks in the top 79. Crazy? Yeah, probably. But that's probably what it's going to take in this scenario to move off of Caleb Williams, which is the point. And the reason why I'm willing to move back here a few spots is because the player I really want is probably still going to be available at number 12. That is center Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon, 6'3", 320, plug-and-play center who's still just scratching the surface of his ability because he's only played 1 year at the position. There's really no need to overthink this. Take the best player available at your biggest need. That's who Jackson Powers Johnson is here at number 12. All right, now, Justin Fields fans, I need you to meet me halfway on something. If the Bears go down this road, there is no scenario in which I see them doing it without giving themselves an off-ramp. They did it last year. Caleb Williams ended up being the off-ramp. So if they're going to pass on that again, they have to have another solution if it doesn't work out. The problem is next year's draft class with quarterbacks is not very good. So they might have to address it this year, which is why I have a trade up out of the second round to the last pick in the first round. Number 32, Bears move up with the Kansas City Chiefs for the number 32 overall pick, which is important because that's the last pick that includes a fifth-year option. You always want that for a quarterback. And they pick up here JJ McCarthy. If Justin Fields ends up not being a great fit in Shane Waldron's offense, JJ McCarthy is a solid plan B. I like him. I don't think he's, the top quarterback in this draft, obviously, when you got guys like Caleb Williams and Drake May at the top, but he is a winner. I mean, quite frankly, he's just a winner. He's money on third and fourth downs. He gets things done in the fourth quarter. He can make every throw, even if he's not the deadliest quarterback in this draft. And so JJ McCarthy, as a plan B in this scenario, moving some of that draft capital back up to grab somebody like that with the last pick in the first round, I think makes a lot of sense. All right, the rest of this gets much easier. I promise. Let's run through the rest of these picks. Now loaded with 8 picks in the top 79. Of course, we've already knocked out 2 of them. We go to the second round, number 40 overall. This was the Bears' original pick. They sent to Washington for Montez Sweat. They get it back. They take a safety, Jaden Hicks from Washington State, 6'3", 212, versatile. He can run high as a center fielder or come down and hit in the box. Very intriguing pairing with Jaquan Brisker, in my opinion. Probably not going to have the range of Eddie Jackson, who he's replacing, but it would be an upgrade in terms of the tackling, in my opinion. Now, a few picks later, second round, number 43 overall, pick they got from the Falcons in the scenario. Edge rusher, Adisa Isaac from Penn State, 6'4", almost 6'5", 250. And look, he's probably got to refine his technique, but this is a player who should test off the charts at the combine and would have a chance to play right away opposite of Montez Sweat while also not being asked to be the number one guy, giving new defensive coordinator Eric Washington some time to work with him. Now we go to the third round. Running back is addressed here. Bucky Irving from Oregon, one of my favorite running backs in this draft class. Not the biggest guy, 5'10", 195, but I promise you, he's going to be an impactful weapon right away because of his quickness. He can make guys miss. You get the ball to him in space, he is going to be a key piece in this offense if you go ahead and draft him in the third round. Defenses are going to have to account for him, even as a rookie. So Bucky Irving here at number 75. Now, just one pick later, third round still. Pick the Bears get from the Broncos in my multiple trade backs scenario. This time they go to the Big Ten. Defensive tackle Michael Hall Jr. from Ohio State. Little undersized, little bit on the light end, but if you watched him at the Senior Bowl, his get-off and quickness is exactly what the Bears need at the 3 technique position. He's got a variety of different moves in his arsenal, and while he only had 1.5 sacks to show for it last season, if you watch his tape, he's creating a ton of pressures for his teammates just by getting the penetration, which is exactly what the Bears need at the 3 technique. And his length will make up for some of the weight that he'll have to put on early in the NFL. Staying in the third round, just a few picks later, number 79, which the Bears get from the Falcons. Edge rusher Braylon Trice from Washington, 6'3", 280. If you watched him in the college football semifinal against Texas, you saw him wreck that game. He was all over the field. He's got some very good tape. His bull rush is outstanding. Jordan Morgan, one of the left tackles in this draft class from Arizona, he made him look silly, just going right through him on his way to the quarterback when Washington played Arizona this season. So I like Braylon Trice a lot. Would take him for sure here in the third round. Now, finally, we move back. The only pick the Bears would have later in the draft, fifth round, 143. It's Shaw Smith-Wade, the corner from Washington State. very Northwest heavy mock draft here, right? Except for Smith Wade, actually went to high school at Simeon Academy here in Chicago. He is on the smaller end, 5'10", 187, but he competes like hell and had a great week in coverage, in my opinion, in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. So there you have it, mock draft 1.0, the Justin Fields version. I don't really know if this is how it's going to play out. You saw how complicated it was. If the Bears really go down this road, I think this is how complicated it's going to have to be. But by the time we get to 2.0, maybe we already know that they're going in a different direction. We'll find out. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Pay attention to all of our coverage on CHGO and ALLCITY.com.
We all silly like the mayor.